Welcome to the deep dive. We like to take fascinating sources and really pull out the key ideas for you.
Hmm.
And today we're diving into a book that, well, it might surprise you just how much depth it has. Kenneth Grahame's The Wind in the Willows.
That's right. It's easy to think of it as just, a lovely children's story.
Exactly. But there's so much more going on beneath the surface, observations about life, nature, maybe even ourselves.
Totally. So our mission, if you like, for this deep dive is to really get into those early chapters. Look at the characters, what makes them tick, and this amazing world Graham creates.
Because these first adventures, they really set everything up, don't they?
They really do. You
Yeah.
get everything from, the simple happiness of ditching chores for sunshine, right up to big adventures and that feeling of home.
Okay, so let's start there. That feeling of ditching chores. Mole and the spring cleaning. I think we can all relate to that urge.
Oh, absolutely. And what's great is how Graham describes it. It's not just Molly being lazy. It's almost this physical reaction against the dust and the whitewash.
Yeah, the aching back and arms.
Right. It feels really fundamental. And then those fantastic little outbursts. Bother. Oblo. Hang spring cleaning. Yeah.
Perfect. It just captures that moment of enough is enough. That feeling of, I don't know, rebellion.
Exactly. Rebellion against the mundane. And it's spring itself calling him, isn't it? The book talks about this spirit of divine discontent and longing getting into his little house.
You can almost feel it, that pull outwards. Makes
Yeah.
you think about how the seasons affect us, maybe more than we realize.
Definitely. And then his first sight of the river.
Wow. Yeah, that description.
Graham calls it a sleek, sinuous, full-bodied animal. Mole's just completely captivated, bewitched, entranced, fascinated.
Like seeing magic for the first time, he just follows it, listening to its chattering.
Have you ever had that? Just
Mm.
been completely stopped in your tracks by, like, a view or a place?
Oh, for sure. And it leads him right to Ratty. To Rat's home, dug into the bank.
Hmm.
Such a cozy image.
It is. And then the invitation, the first boat trip. Mole is just ecstatic.
What a day I'm having. You can just hear the pure delight. It shows how much happiness you can get from something completely new and simple.
It really does. And talking of simple pleasures, that picnic basket.
Ah, yes.
It's not just sandwiches, is it? It's an event. Graham lists everything. Cold chicken, cold tongue, cold ham, cold beef,
Pickled gherkins, salad, French rolls, cresses sandwiches.
spotted meat, ginger beer, lemonade, soda water. It's
Mm.
like the ultimate spread. It really elevates the moment, makes it special.
It absolutely does. But even then, there's that little touch of reality when Rat mentions how busy the riverbank is getting.
Right. All the other animals wanting him to do something.
Yeah.
Otters, kingfishers.
It's a funny reminder that even idyllic spots have their social pressures, you know?
Yeah, it kind of contrasts with Mole's initial quiet awe. And speaking of awe, that moment at the weir in the mill house,
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Molly's just completely overwhelmed by the beauty.
pure, simple wonder.
It's lovely. And there's that bit about animal etiquette, too. When someone disappears, you just don't ask.
Yeah, it's a little glimpse into their world, isn't it? A
Mhm.
sort of quiet understanding.
Then Mole nearly loses the basket. That panic is so relatable.
Totally. But Rat's just so good about it, forgives him instantly, invites him to stay.
And Mole getting a bit teary. It really shows that friendship forming and Rat's kindness.
It's a lovely moment. Okay, so from the calm of the river, we get launched onto the open road, thanks to Toad.
Huh, yes. Mole thinks he's doing Rat a favor by suggesting they meet Toad, and, well, things escalate.
They certainly do. And Rat's description of Toad beforehand is just perfect, isn't it?
It really is.
He says he's the best of animals, simple, good-natured, affectionate, but then adds, perhaps he's not very clever.
And it may be that he is both boastful and conceited.
But he has got some great qualities, has Toady. It's such a brilliant, balanced picture. We all know people like that, right? Weighing the good and the not so good.
Absolutely sets the scene. And then Toad himself booming about Toad Hall being the finest house on the whole river.
Oh, yeah. Toad and modesty bypassed.
Yeah.
And that slightly awkward laugh when Rat nudges Molly. We've all been there.
Definitely. Establishes their dynamic right away. And then the big idea, the caravan.
The yellow caravan.
Yeah.
Graham goes into such detail about the insides.
Sleeping bunks, folding table, stove.
Lockers, bookshelves, even a bird cage. Pots, pans. It's like a little house on wheels.
Yeah.
What do you think that says about Toad needing all that stuff?
Comfort is key. Or maybe just showing off. And the food list again.
Yes. Biscuits, potted lobster, sardines, soda water here, baccy there, letter paper, bacon, jam, cards and dominoes. He's prepared for anything or thinks he is.
But Rat's reaction is priceless. So cautious.
Oh, yeah, those pointed questions. About this afternoon, you said, and you speak of we in Scart. He sees trouble brewing.
He's the sensible one, isn't he? While Toad's just completely swept away.
Totally. And Toad's trying to convince Rat, thinking he'll make an animal of him, showing the world. It's quite funny, really.
A bit condescending, maybe.
A little bit, yeah. Have you ever known anyone get that carried away with a new plan?
Oh, definitely. And then getting the horse? The poor old gray horse who clearly does not want to go.
Toad just assumes he'll love it. And the packing. Nose bags, nets of onions, bundles of hay. Toad's enthusiasm definitely outweighs his planning skills.
But that first afternoon sounds lovely, doesn't it? The golden afternoon, the dust waving to people.
Yeah, and the rabbit's going, oh my, oh my, oh my. It's all very charming, captures that initial excitement of a trip.
It does, but, well, it's Toad, so it can't last. That first night camping, Rat's already missing the river.
I think about it all the time. You really feel his connection to home, even out there.
And Molly just squeezing his paw. It's a quiet little moment, but says a lot about their friendship.
It really does. Maybe hints at Molly's own feelings about home later on, too. And then, day 2. Disaster strikes.
The horse bolts, the caravan overturns, end of adventure.
Swift and brutal, and Toad's reaction.
Oh, the poop, just standing there in a trance.
It's perfect. Rat explains it's his new craze. Cars. He's already moved on from the caravan. So fickle.
Classic Toad. You know anyone like that jumps from hobby to hobby.
It's definitely a type, isn't it? That obsessive focus, then poof, gone. So they have to
Yeah.
abandon the wreck and basically drag Toad to the station.
And then they go back home by boat. You can just feel Rat's relief.
Oh, yeah. Back to his river. Pure contentment.
So we've had the river, the road. Now we get to the wildwood. And the mood definitely shifts. There's a bit of unease.
Definitely. Rat is clearly not keen when Molly mentions the wildwood.
He tries to brush it off. Oh, it's all right. But keeps making excuses not to go.
Yeah, it's interesting how he focuses on Badger living there. Like, Badger's okay, but the wood itself. Makes you think about places we just instinctively avoid, maybe.
And Mole, being Mole, curious and maybe a bit naive, decides to check it out himself in winter.
And the description of winter is lovely, too, seeing the insides of things when the leaves are gone.
There's a stark beauty to it, but that cheerfulness doesn't last long once he gets near the wildwood itself. Low and threatening.
Yeah, the fun drains away pretty fast as it gets dark.
And the sounds, or the lack of sound, then the sounds. The whistling and pattering. Really creepy.
Builds the tension so well. It's a sensory thing. You feel Molly's fear growing. Have you ever been somewhere where the quiet felt wrong?
Oh yeah, unsettling. And then the rabbit screaming, "Get out of this, you fool, get out!"
Stark terror. Mole hides in the tree, completely realizing the terror of the wildwood. Really shatters his view of the world, I think.
Shows how much he still has to learn, and how much he relies on Rat.
And Rat coming to find him, armed to the teeth. Pistols and a cudgel. That's friendship.
It really is. Shows Rat's courage, too. Even the wild wooders seem wary of him.
Yeah, there's a big difference between Molly's fear and Rat's determination. He knows this territory. And his little dig about Toad's bravery later is quite funny.
Ha! Yes. But they're not out of the woods yet. Literally. They get lost in the snow.
Everything looks the same. That feeling of being completely turned around must be terrifying.
Utterly disorienting, which makes finding Badger's place almost miraculous.
Yes, and what a contrast. Badger's kitchen. Sounds amazing.
The red brick floor, log fire, settles, long table.
Dresser with plates, hams, herbs, onions, eggs. It's just sanctuary. So warm and safe after the cold and fear outside. What stands out for you in that description?
I think the sense of solidness, security, food, warmth, shelter, everything you need. And Badger just casually knowing about Toad's car accidents is a nice touch.
Links it back. And then Otter bursts in, his journey through the snow.
Tells you how worried everyone was back at the river. The sliding snow, the snow castles. It's wonderfully described.
It is. And then Badger's story about the history of the wildwood. That adds a whole other dimension.
That it used to be a city. People live there.
Yeah, people who flourish, they built and they go. But the Badgers, they're an enduring lot. They just wait and come back. It gives you this huge sense of time, doesn't it? Civilizations rising and falling.
It's really deep, actually. Puts the animal's worries into a bigger perspective. And Badger saying Mole is safe because he's any friend of mine that carries weight.
Definitely establishes Badger as this wise, protective figure. But Rat's still keen to get back to the river, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He belongs there. And Mole has this realization, too, that he's an animal of tilled field and hedgerow.
Yeah.
He likes the familiar
But
places.
that's self-discovery. He knows where he fits.
Yeah, and that leads perfectly into the whole dulce domum part, the sweetness of home. Even with all the adventures, that pull is strong.
It really is. The descriptions of the cold outside, the sheep huddled up, contrasted with the warm lights from the village windows, it builds that longing.
And that image of the birdcage in the window.
So evocative, isn't it? Symbolizes everything cozy and safe and domestic that Mole is suddenly missing intensely.
And then he smells it. His own home.
That call, it's described as almost physical. Even though his home is shabby indeed and small and poorly furnished, it's his. That's what matters.
And he just breaks down, pleading with Rat. Ratty, come back, I want you quick. It's so raw.
You really feel his desperation. Have you ever had that sudden, overwhelming homesickness?
I think most people have at some point. And Rat, bless him, doesn't quite get it at first.
No, he's still focused on getting home, his home. Oh, come along, Mole, do. It creates this real moment of tension. Mole's torn.
But Rat sees how upset Mole is and he turns back. That's real friendship, understanding what the other person needs, even if you don't feel it yourself.
Absolutely. Such compassion. And finding Mole's little house, cleaning it up, it's just lovely. So heartwarming.
It really is a perfect moment of finding comfort again.
And then the carol singers turning up. The field mice.
Oh, yeah. Bringing that touch of community and Christmas cheer, sharing their food. It's just a wonderful, cozy scene. The carol itself is included, too.
Yeah, creates that whole atmosphere, a sense of shared warmth.
And the final touch, hearing the church bells ringing out joyfully in the distance after they leave, just wraps it up perfectly. Comfort, belonging, home.
So yeah, looking back at this deep dive into just these early parts, Grahame packs so much in.
He really does. We've seen Mole's world open up, from escaping his house to finding the river.
Then Toad's crazy road trip, the fear of the wildwood, the safety of badgers.
And finally, that powerful return, Mole finding his own home again.
And woven through it all are these big themes, aren't there? The simple joy of nature, how important friendship is.
Definitely. And the lure of adventure versus that deep need for, well, for home, for belonging somewhere.
Which kind of leaves us with a thought for you, listening. Which bit resonated most with you? Which character? Which place?
Yeah, and maybe think about what home means to you and what adventures, big or small, might be out there calling your name.
It's all about that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exploration and belonging. Maybe it's even time to pick up the book again, see what else you find in there.